give sort of an overview of what's going on in terms of GIS and energy at the West Virginia survey primarily, but we do, the states in the area try and work together as much as possible, so we'll be covering some other states as well. And in fact, I think that's the question we were asked when we were asked to speak here is what efforts are the states putting forth in terms of trying to help out the energy industry. So the purpose of the we are stewards. The purpose of the Geological survey is to collect and store data, to analyze data, and to disseminate data. And our customers include government entities at all levels, and academia, industry, and the general public. Geologic data and GIS tools form the foundation to support both our information and service programs and our research, and we do different types of research. We do both in-house research, and we try to do, as I've sort of already alluded to, collaborative projects. A lot of times those projects are with other state geological surveys, state and federal agencies, academic institutions, and more recently we've had industry partners in projects. Our current software environment is that we're using Esri ArcGIS 10.2 products. We operate Oracle and Postgres databases running SDE, and we've been developing our newer map applications with ArcGIS API for JavaScript. We have a number of, like I said, I'm kind of emphasizing what we make publicly available for this presentation, and we have a number of GIS-related products that are available from our website. So some of these would be static maps, although we're trying to get away from that, but some people still do like the static maps. We have a number of map applications and downloadable data sets, some of which are sort of already prepared, but some can be created on the fly. And we're also starting to, we're a little bit probably behind the curve, but we are starting to develop services, our GIS services. So those are the URLs. And I guess this presentation will be available, so you can get at those URLs if you need to. So we do have many different products available and many different product vintages. So in terms of what areas we focused on related to energy, we focused on oil and gas, coal, carbon capture, utilization, and storage, geothermal, and then we just have some basic data that may be of use to people in the energy industries. The things in red here, we've been able to sort of collaborate with other states, and we have multi-state and survey projects for almost every area. So I'm going to go through each area a little bit. I'll start off with oil and gas. And we have some basic materials available and also some play or resource-based materials. And off to the side there, you can see sort of a stratigraphic chart. I don't know how many people are familiar with that sort of thing, how many people are geologists in the audience, but it sort of shows the rock layers, and this is specific to West Virginia. So the areas in yellow are, we've been able to develop materials specifically for those. So that includes the Marcellus, the Utica, and Point Pleasant is being developed currently. Trenton Black River, and then we also focused on tight gas a few years ago, so that included the Berea, Murraysville, Venango, Bradford, Elk, Medina, Clinton, and Tuscarora plays. All the map applications and any data or static maps associated with them are available through our main page on our website through a mapping portal, and there's the URL there. And we do have sort of a basic oil and gas application. I'm going to go through all the applications that we have, map applications that we have available. We have a basic one. This just gets at oil and gas data for over 150,000 wells. You can click on the wells, get additional data. You can get linked to data tables, and you can, I think, download the information via spreadsheet, and that's updated weekly. We also have sort of a Marcellus map application, so it just contains basic information about the Marcellus. We also do offer a static map for that because so many people have asked for just page size map. And we have downloadable data sets. All the data sets available through the map application are available for download. Those are just the data layers and data sets available. From the Marcellus system, you can link to a number of things. I think the nicest feature probably is to link to the e-log data. And the the well logs, you can just pop up right there on the fly. As I said, we're developing a Utica Point Pleasant materials that's in development, should be released by next summer. We were able to work with Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and Kentucky for that particular project. We did also have industry partners, and National Energy Technology Laboratory was involved as well. A few years ago, we developed Trenton Black River materials, and those are all available on our website. It was the same states were involved in that particular project, and also industry partners. And it's actually very useful. Some of the materials from the Trenton Black River are applicable for the Utica, like the cross sections are particularly useful. And here's an example of one of the cross sections you can get from the mapping system. You just bring up the cross section layer, click on the line, and you can get to add all the cross sections that way. As far as the tight gas materials goes, it's same sort of thing. That was just a project with Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And once again, you just get well data, cross sections, maps, and for this particular application, the user can sort of create their data set of interest on the fly. And this particular application also has access to a lot of documents. So, as I said, GIS sort of forms one of the basic components of everything we do at this survey, and this is just sorts of things we do almost on a daily basis. We create all sorts of maps, location, ice pack structure maps, source rock and field maps. We investigate drilling activity, track disposal wells, locate abandoned wells. We're always trying to examine the data spatially for quality control, inventory cores and cuttings, and more recently we've been conducting resource assessments. I was just going to try and go over the coal a little bit as well. So it's sort of a little bit like the oil and gas, where we have a more general map application just about all mining. Then we also have a map application specific to coal beds. So as shown in yellow, that's sort of the rock layers or stratigraphic units that we're dealing with. Sort of another way of looking at it. Just like as with oil and gas, you can access it through the map portal on the survey website. The all mining map deals with all undergrounds and surface mine layers. And this has all been developed using our GIS server, some of our newest work. And some of the just examples of things you can do. There are hyperlinks to scene-specific maps. You can do a name search and scene filter searches. And it's very typical now. You can get to numerous base maps and ortho photos. We also have a very detailed set of maps related to the coal beds. 80. We have 80 different services that you can get to. So those basically contain the coal bed boundaries, the mined and remaining coal elevations, the total bed thickness, the net coal thickness, percent parting, and overburden. And from that you can access further downloadable maps and additional data. You can also get a tabular data for that. And we also do have some graphs and charts. For example, one is it shows total net coal and percent parting thickness. All the services are available. That's the URL to the public. In addition, in coal, we prepare data sets for other state agencies. We investigate availability and recoverability, generate production maps, estimate resources and reserves, review the impact of mining, evaluate abandoned mines as underground as groundwater sources, and examine coal bed methane. So also recently we've been working on carbon capture, utilization, and storage, which includes looking at sort of just general geology. We also investigated EOR and EGR, which is enhanced oil recovery, enhanced gas recovery, and that also involves unminable coals. And there is a mapping system that goes along with this. It was put together by the Ohio Geological Survey, and the URL will be in the slideshow. All that work, which is sort of divided into regional areas, and we're in the Midwest regional area, and that has been bundled into a national system. So those materials also are available sort of in GIS format. That was put together at WVU. And materials are also available from the DOE website. Also, there's been a project to work on geothermal, and that 43 state surveys work together. And although we do have data for all 50 states, and those materials, that project finished just recently. Those materials are available from the 2 different sites. The URLs will be in the presentation. For geothermal, we also did develop materials specific to West Virginia and develop a map application for that. And that particular application has temperatures and depths. It has oil and gas wells, which is from those well data is how we got the temperature data. It has geology, infrastructure, and development sites. And from that, you can also link to well log data. And there is some basic and other data that might be useful to the energy industry. You can get to a topographic map index from our site, digital geologic maps at a 1 to 24,000 scale. We don't have that for the whole state. That's a project that we're working on. You get to earthquake data. The publications catalog might have some things of interest. If you're particularly interested in GIS products, you can do a search on a deliverable type, just get all the GIS products. And you can get to all our services. We have a number of services, primarily just coal at this time, but we have some others. And those are the URLs for that. As far as future work goes, we'd like to continue to develop GIS tools for quality control and quality assurance, continue to develop geoprocessing capabilities, to develop GIS services and data sets, and update and develop our map applications. And I did talk to people at both the Ohio and Pennsylvania Geological surveys. They helped out a little bit with some of the materials, although we have been working with them recently on the Utica project. And those are my references. And I don't know if anybody has any questions or suggestions for what we can do with this survey. Here's a couple ideas in case somebody has any questions.